it's so difficult when you go out and even with friends and they have their husband, and I've noticed that in my daughter when she goes out, my daddy's not here, and she goes at these shows, and there's two parents there and I'm the only one, and people who don't even know me, it comes back to that stigma again. Oh, there's her mom, no dad. So I would assume that they're thinking, oh, yes, she's a single parent. And mind you, single parents are great. I think everybody should take their hats off for a single parent who's raising kids on their own and doing a great job. But just seeing that and seeing my friends is, I don't know if I consider it a shame, but it's, I don't know, it's really hard for me just to see that, and to see the pain that my kids go through, that the dad's not there and everybody else has their dad. So in a way, I would say I feel ashamed going out with families, and I'm all left alone with me and the children, and then the other families are there with their mom and their dad, and my children doesn't. So I feel more shame for my kids than for myself.
Oftentimes being in school and being around other young girls, I felt ashamed because I felt like, how come I'm not acting like them? I don't look like them. I don't understand what they're saying. It was weird to me being in my skin as a young woman when I didn't have someone to look up to and to show me how to walk in my skin as a young Black woman, and how to take care of myself, and just how to be a young woman. So the shame was that I felt like I didn't fit in because I didn't have a mom to teach me how to be a lady, or how to be a young woman, or how to be how to be a young woman. I just felt like I didn't fit in because I couldn't afford those material desires that kids had. And I just felt like I couldn't connect with the group. So even though it was a service to help me through my bereavement, it actually highlighted the fact that I was different. It highlighted the fact that my issues were different as a result of the loss of my parents.
So I'm thinking about HIV. Let's think about someone or a family that is dealing with someone who was diagnosed with HIV and lived, developed into AIDS, progressed, got sick, and died. I think that there's a lot of stigma within our communities and many other communities around HIV and AIDS. But that stigma really impacts how the loss is experienced in that family. And depending on that family's level of comfort with HIV and AIDS, or depending on if there's AIDS phobia, how they deal with the person as they're dying, how they respond, how the whole funeral unfolds, and what happens after the funeral is affected. So, for instance, a lot of the men and women that I worked with who died, there's a lot of stigma. So their families are not comfortable even acknowledging that this person had AIDS. So there's a funeral that within the service, there's a whole group of people who have no knowledge about what this person died from or the life they lived prior to dying, because that's kept closed. And then there might be the friends and the people that this person connected with at Black Cap and other communities that were supportive and supporting them through their illness, that is aware of, well, she had HIV, she died from AIDS-related illness. And so at the funeral, there's this thing that happens where the ritual, the funeral, which should be a ritual that allows us to celebrate their life in the full and richness that it was, is not happening in the way that it should, because there's a silence, and there's a silence in one aspect, and then there's another group that is like feeling, well, come on, this is not who we knew, or this is not feeling like this person, this is not the person that I knew, that I'm hearing about from this side over here that is wanting to keep the secret. And unfortunately, because of stigma and shame, they're not comfortable acknowledging all aspects of that person's life. So So that's one of the things that I see we dealt with a lot at Black Cap. And then there were other families who were very open and who were very supportive of their loved one as they were living with HIV, as they progressed to AIDS. And so the funeral was a celebration of this person, whether he was a gay man or she was a straight woman who died from AIDS-related illness. And I'm thinking of two people in particular. There was an openness. So that funeral, that ritual, which is about celebrating all aspects of their life, was experienced different by the family and the friends who came, because there was no secrets. There was no kind of like trying to cover up what the reality of this person's death was.